What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me here today. And today I'm going to be showing you where I believe Mad Max 1, Mad Max The Road Warrior, which is Mad Max 2, and Mad Max 3 Beyond Thunderdome all take place in Australia. Now, these are going to be my own speculations. I gathered this information from where the movies were filmed and where the lore suggests it takes place. And from there, I kind of use an educated guess on where exactly it takes place. Now, here's a map for you. I believe most of it takes place in South Australia, New South Wales, and Victoria. Now, on the map, you can see there is green, blue, and purple areas that I've added to the map. The green is Mad Max 1, the blue is Mad Max 2, and the purple is Mad Max 3. Alright, so let's start off with Mad Max 1. We have Clunes, Emu Creek Bridge, Melbourne, and Fairview. And that kind of helped me map out the general area in green, as you can see on the screen there. Clunes is where the Toe Cutters gang scenes were filmed when they arrived in the movie. We also have Emu Creek Bridge, which is where the last of the Toe Cutters gangs were killed by Max. And then we got Melbourne, the city itself, where I believe the Main Force police station is located. Although I should say that there are two locations in Melbourne where it was filmed. There is, I believe, a science center. I could be wrong, but there is also a university, which is where the parking garage scenes were filmed. And then we got Fairview, which is on the coast of Victoria in Australia. That's where Max's home is. Alright, so let's move on to Mad Max 2. All the driving scenes took place in the Mundi Mundi Lookout, which is a pretty cool area. You can actually go to it on Google Maps. That's where all the driving scenes with the war rig and in the beginning driving scenes all took place. And then we have Pinnacle, which is where the oil refinery takes place. It is three kind of mountains that are around I want to say 30 kilometers outside of Broken Hill, the town out there. And we got Steffens Creek, which is where the gyrocopter was found in those scenes. That's where those scenes were shot. So that's helped me map out in the blue where Mad Max 2 takes place. So now we are at Mad Max 3. We have the Cancun breakaways, which is where the Gulag scenes were taking place. Then we have Coober Pedy, which is where the pilot's hideout is. It's a pretty cool place. You could also see pictures on Google Maps. Then far across, you can see at Sydney where we have Mermaid's Cave, which is where all the scenes with the lost children that Max finds, that's where all those scenes were shot. We also have Sydney itself, which is Tomorrowland, and Olympic Park, which was Bartertown. Now, the one thing I wanted to go over is this part's completely my own speculation and just from what I've done a bit of research on. And so I have some trouble believing that Mad Max took place in the Coober Pedy area, or at least in that exact area. The main reason why is because when I looked up the pilot's airplane, which one he used, now the pilot used a model Transavia PL-12 air truck. The max travel distance is 1,297 kilometers, but when you look at the distance between Sydney and Coober Pedy, the distance is 1,651.71 kilometers. That's you could say a little ways outside of the max travel distance. So when I look on the map and I look into the lore a little bit more, you get to see that the Bartertown is supposed to be situated lore-wise next to some salt lakes. You can see that there's this new area that I've mapped out a little bit southeast of where Coober Pedy is. The locations are where salt lakes are, and that's where I believe is a much better location because it fits with the lore of Bartertown, that it's situated next to some salt lakes and that is within the travel distance of the model Transavia PL-12 air truck. This distance is 1,291.98 kilometers. That is within the travel distance. They would be running at the end of their fuel by the time they make it to Tomorrowland, Sydney. But the only thing that I'm kind of having trouble with is where the lost kids are kind of existing in this area. Now, one place that I believe that the lost children could exist in this area or relatively nearby is the Aruna Dam next to Lake Creek. It is one of the only areas that I could find that has enough water so that the kids could be rowing on their boats. It's sort of canyon-like a little bit, but it is different because I guess the shots seen in the movie are going to be far different than those in this area. The main reason why I think this is a better location is because now if Bartertown and the Lost Kids all take place next to Sydney, that means that somehow they travel from Bartertown in the chase scenes all the way up to Cooper Petty and then fly all the way back to Sydney, which doesn't make sense to me. So I believe that all of this takes place in South Australia next to the Salt Lakes. That's where most of the movie takes place. Then they fly over to Sydney. Now I just want to say that this is all my own speculation and these areas are not set in stone. To find these locations, I use my own educated guesses based off of filming locations as well as some lore. So I'm not entirely sure if these are the exact locations, but this is where I feel, and perhaps you agree, where the stories take place. If you feel like you have another location where any of the locations I suggested actually take place, then most definitely do let me know down below, because I'd love to hear it and I'm sure others would too. If you enjoyed the video, then please do give me a like, and if you like this sort of content where I try to find apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic settlements and their stories and where they take place, then do subscribe, because that is the sort of stuff that I'm into as well and will be posting the kind of content of. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this kind of tickled your fancy in the whole Mad Max lore and where it all takes place. Thank you. Deuces. Have a good one. Put one in the air, pour a drink in my cup. I'm just living life like I don't give a fuck. I'm just smart, crazy, minding my own. Smart, crazy, minding my own. Young Lil Neach trying to be a man. Growing up fast, we could barely stand. You forgot how to love.